Hello and welcome back to All the Words She Wrote. I guess today we're going to start working for Hijiri, so let's dive right in. With Hijiri's begrudging consent secured, Sae excuses herself. She apologizes for being unable to stay longer and promises to stop by at a later date to check up on me. Before leaving, she hauls a familiar-looking suitcase out of the back of her car. It's the wheeled case my mother wanted me to bring with me on my journey, which I turned down in favor of my lighter and, if I do say so myself, more fashionable messenger bag. Sae gives the case to me and says it's full of my clothes. I suppose she must have stopped by my house before she drove all this way to meet up with Hijiri. Again, why didn't she just drive you? That would imply she was certain Hijiri would wind up accepting me as her housekeeper, despite her icy tendencies. Or that Sae is so stubborn, she was determined to make Hijiri accept me, regardless of Hijiri's feelings re this arrangement. I thank Sae for her thoughtfulness and drag the case inside. Hijiri winces as the wheels squeak along the tatami mats of the living room, but doesn't comment on it. You're wheeling a suitcase on tatami mats. Okay, isn't that rude? That is rude, right? You should carry it, come on. Those few steps. Now that that's over with, I can finally go back to sleep. Sleep? I stare at Hijiri, nonplussed. But it's almost 5. Yes, and it's much too early to go to bed. It's not even dark outside. Who are you to say what I can and can't do? You're not my minder. Maybe not, but I am your housekeeper. It's my job to keep things ticking over on a regular schedule, right? Nominally, I suppose, but that relates to the running of the house, not to my daily schedule. Besides, you're not my real housekeeper either. Not really. No? No. Hijiri narrows her eyes. I don't need a housekeeper. I've told Sae that dozens of times, but she refuses to budge on the subject. She's been annoyingly persistent about it. I capitulated in the end, but I've refused to concede. I still don't agree with her. I have absolutely no use for you, Mayo. You might as well not be here. I took you in out of the goodness of my heart, like a stray kitten. That's all you are. You're nothing but a charity project. Oof, now that hurts. Hijiri's not punched me since I woke her up, thank goodness. I don't want that becoming a habit. But her words are just as painful as her fists, if not more. The bruise on my forehead should fade over time, but what about the bruises on my pride? You sure know how to make a girl feel welcome, Hijiri. What were you expecting? Did you think I'd jump up and down for joy about all of this? Get real. I wouldn't go that far, but I'd like it if you could at least attempt something approaching politeness. And I'd appreciate it if Hijiri would stop staring at me like I'm something foul stuck to the sole of her shoe. A smile would reassure me a whole bunch. I was overjoyed when Hijiri let me stay here, but now, in Sae's absence, I'm starting to worry whether this was a horrible mistake. What do you think this is? A hotel? Hijiri's derisive voice cuts through my musings like a sharpened blade. I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. You're not paying me for the service. In fact, it's the opposite. I'm the one who's supposed to be paying you for the supposed honor. Here, Hijiri makes quotation marks with her fingers. of your continual company. Bah. You should count yourself lucky I'm bothering to speak to you at all. I don't want anything to do with you. I'd appreciate it if you could leave me alone. I think that would make the situation more bearable for the both of us. Keep your nose out of my business and keep out of my way. Don't talk to me more than is strictly necessary, don't try to tell me what to do, and for goodness sake, don't enter my room when I'm working. Is that clear? Crystal. Good. I sigh. This setup is giving me some serious Beauty and the Beast vibes. Hijiri's too small to be a proper beast, of course, and I'm not arrogant enough to label myself as a beauty, but my grumpy, pin-sized employer has the beast's cantankerous personality down pat. What will she do if I dare enter her bedroom? Lock me up in the dungeon? Cast me outside for the wolves to feast on my carcass? Neither of these are pleasant thoughts. But I tried to remind myself things worked out okay for Belle in the end. She and the beast had that touching moment after he dashed to her rescue, all cavalier, and then they went on to become the best of friends, and something more. Will Hijiri warm to me if given enough time? I'd like to think so. We might even get our own musical number at some point. I should be so lucky. Being despised by your idol isn't much fun. Maybe I'd be more into Hijiri's obvious scorn if I was a masochist, but alas. So, is there any work you want me to do while I'm here? Not really. There's nothing at all? I can't think of anything, and I don't want to think of anything either. I have my hands full working on the next volume of Belforest. I don't have the time to boss you around into the bargain. You'll have to take some initiative. I'm sure you can do that, a big girl like you. You can do as much or as little work as you like. Either way, it's fine with me. Just stay out of my hair. Yes, ma'am, I understand. Hijiri's really laying the disdain on thick. At this point, she might as well come out and say, "You're worth less than the ground I walk on. You could drop down dead tomorrow for all I care." Good. I'm glad we've got that cleared up. Now, if it's quite alright with you, I'm going to bed. That's fine, but wait! I call to Hijiri's retreating back before she can leave the living room. What now? Hijiri pauses, then looks at me from over her shoulder. Her brow is furrowed and her lips are pinched into a disagreeable pout. She's definitely pissed. Make this brief. I've said quite enough for one day. I know, and I'm sorry for inconveniencing you. I don't want to, really. It's just, I'd like to unpack my bags, and I don't know where I'm supposed to be staying. Could you show me to my room? My query is met with nothing but silence. For a few moments, I worry Hijiri will chew me out for my audacity. I've been so thoroughly browbeaten already, I wouldn't be surprised if Hijiri started to insult me, which is why I'm so perplexed when, after a pause... Yes, you're right. Hijiri nods, with nary an insulting word to accompany it. Jeez. That was an oversight on my part. If you're to stay here, then of course you need somewhere to sleep. I should probably give you a quick tour too. I wouldn't want you wandering into any rooms you shouldn't, or getting lost. Is that alright? I wouldn't offer otherwise. But I thought you were sleepy. I am sleepy. Horribly so. That's nothing new though, I'm sleepy all the time. My nap can wait for half an hour. Showing you around is more important. Moreover... Hijiri's expression darkens. I wouldn't be able to sleep properly anyway. Not with you wandering around my house, entering rooms indiscriminately and touching things with your clumsy hands. I don't think I'm particularly clumsy. That remains to be seen. Now, shall we go? Hijiri inclines her head to the door. I'd like to get this over with as soon as possible. I wish she wouldn't make this sound like a horrible chore. Based on her tone of voice, you'd think she's about to get vaccinated or something. Right. Nothing against vaccinations, girl. Hijiri slides the living room door open, then beckons me into the hallway. I hasten to follow her, dragging my wheeled case along behind me. Hijiri gives me a quick tour of her home and all its many rooms. She shows me the kitchen, the dining room and the downstairs bathroom in quick succession, but warns me against entering the room adjacent to the living room. Apparently, that's her library. It's full of books and articles. Some of them are very rare. I don't want you looking through them. After a quick scan of the ground floor, Hijiri leads me up to the floor above it. There's a lot of rooms up here too, but only a couple of them see any regular use. One such room is the bathroom, and another is Hijiri's bedroom. Hijiri pauses by this door, but she doesn't let me in. This room, she remarks severely, is absolutely off limits. I spend most of my time in here, writing. I can't work when people interrupt me, so I advise you to keep away. Don't come inside unless invited, and don't knock on my door unless you have something important to say. If you can manage that, I think we should get along tolerably well. Wow, I can't really read today. What's going on? Ooh. Yes, ma'am. Good. Now, for your room. Hijiri leads me down the hall. We pass a series of closed doors, which I presume lead to empty guest bedrooms. Hijiri hasn't ordered me to keep away from any of these rooms, so I don't suppose there's anything to stop me from poking around inside them in the future. I can't imagine I'll see much though, other than bare tatami. I doubt these rooms have been aired in years. Maybe I should sweep them later and open up the windows? It might help liven this place up a bit. Not a little, a bit. It's as I'm thinking this that Hijiri halts at the very end of the hallway by a nondescript door tucked away from the rest. Here we are. This is your room. You'll be staying here. This room is about as far away from Hijiri's hallowed chamber as it's possible to be. She must have done that on purpose. Hijiri might be giving me a place to stay, but she's still keeping me at arm's length. I'm starting to worry that she'll never grow to accept me. How can we form any kind of meaningful relationship if she's unwilling to spend any time with me? It's with a heavy heart that I step inside my new room. I feel kind of bummed out, which might explain why my room looks so drab. The floor is tatami, like the floor in the living room, but the mats look old and stained. A strange smell emanates from them, like mold or maybe damp. Is this room even fit for human habitation? The walls are beige, but the paintwork's chipping here and there, revealing the plaster beneath. The room has one window, which overlooks the forest. It's a large enough window and should let in a good deal of sunlight, but the glass panes are tarnished with age. The wooden sill beneath warped with water damage. Oh, lovely. There's a chest of drawers in the corner with a missing handle and a bookcase full of what I presume are Hijiri's books, but that's about it as far as furniture goes. There isn't a bed or a desk or even a trash can. I presume I'll be sleeping on a futon tonight. That makes sense, given the age and the style of this house, but I'm not a big futon fan. I've not been away a full 24 hours, and I'm already starting to miss my bed back home. This room isn't inspiring. It's the exact opposite of that, and it smells.
So, what do you think? Do you like it?
Like is something of a strong word, but I don't want to be too brutally honest. That wouldn't be very polite. It is nice of Hijiri to put me up after all. I'm even being paid for the privilege. I shouldn't be ungrateful. I swallow my complaints, which are plentiful, then force a smile.
This room's pretty nice, yeah. It's so spacious.
That much is true, at least. This room is about twice the size of my bedroom back home, though I'm not sure if that's a bonus. The sheer size of this room only makes its sparse furnishings stand out all the more.
It could use a bit of TLC, but I'm sure it'll clean up nicely. You liar. Huh?
I stare at Hijiri, taken aback by a clipped retort.
What do you mean? You know what I mean. Surely you're not that dense.
Hijiri rolls her eyes. She seems to do that a lot. Is that a quirk of hers, or do I simply invite diversion? Now that I think about it, Nina rolls her eyes a lot at me too.
I can tell what you really think. It's written all over your face. You think this room is a dump, and the rest of the house too. No, I don't. It's fine, really. Really?
Hijiri raises an eyebrow.
You can be honest with me. I won't be offended. It's not like I have any great attachment to this house either. Well, then, I guess it's kind of gloomy? It's miserable. The floor's dirty and there's hardly any furniture. I wouldn't want to sleep here. It seems like the kind of place you'd find ghosts.
Do you believe in ghosts, Hijiri?
Of course not. I'm not a child. What about you? Nah, I took part in this test of courage once during a trip back in elementary school, but the so-called ghost was my own teacher, dressed up in this nutty white yukata. I've not believed in ghosts since then. It's all a bunch of mumbo-jumbo made to scare impressionable kids. How unexpectedly insightful.
A thin smile captures the corners of Hijiri's lips, but it comes and goes so quickly, I have to wonder whether I've imagined it. Maybe I'm going insane. The chest of drawers will start talking to me next, I swear.
I thought you might be the sort to believe in spirits. I was hoping I might be able to scare you away with a ghost story or two, but apparently not. Nope, it'll take more than a few things going bump in the night to frighten me. I might not look it, but I'm pretty tough. I'm here now, and I want to work for you, Hijiri, even if you don't want me around. It'd be a bad look if I turned tail and fled so early on. I see.
Hijiri sighs.
You're just as persistent as I. Well, we are related. Kinda, sorta.
I beam. I don't know if Hijiri actually smiled or not, but it's gone a long way to bolstering my...
Spirits. I feel a good deal cheerier than I did upon entering this room. It's not the prettiest of bedrooms, sure, but it's livable. I can make it work. I need to do something about these tatami mats though, and the walls could use another lick of paint to make them more homey. Perhaps I could get Saya to cart some of my furniture over? Bringing over my bed would be too much of an ask, but I'd like to get my hands on my elf forest figures and wall scrolls. I'm sure Princess Luluna's smiling face will inject some much-needed color into this place. So, I take it I'll be sleeping on a futon?
That's right. Unless you'd rather the floor.
No, I'm good. Where do you keep your futons, Hijiri? Are they in the closet?
At least I think so. It's been a while since I used them. They'll probably need a good wash.
That's alright, I can handle it. Just leave it to me.
I was going to. Housework is your job, not mine.
That's right. You're Tsuchimirui, the great author. I'll handle all the chores around here, so you can focus on your writing 24/7. And that's what's really important.
If I wrote 24/7, I think I'd die.
12/7 then. Or maybe 8/7?
I'd rather go for 5 or 6/7. I need to sleep at least 10 hours a night to function.
That works too. Now, let's take a look at these futons. I head over to the closet, a spring in my step. I'm starting to feel pretty positive about all this. Maybe Hijiri and I really can become friends after all. She was cold at first, yeah, but that could have been on account of nerves. She's opened up to a little since then. She's still icy, but she's not as hard to talk to as I'd feared. Maybe she doesn't like me, but I don't think she outright hates me. I'm making progress. I grasp the handle of the cupboard door, grinning as I do so, and... I scream. Something falls out of the cupboard. I don't get a good look at it, but it's something tall, bipedal, and disconcertingly human-looking. I was expecting some mothballs at the worst, but this is a total shock. What's going on? The humanoid something lands on top of me. It's heavy, whatever it is, and it knocks the air out of me. I fall back, wind it, and collapse on the stained tatami floor. My butt hits the ground with a dull thud. My legs indecorously splayed. The humanoid creature hits the floor, too, a few inches away from me. It rolls over, its eyes large and staring, its chest cavity all opened up, its inner organs exposed. Oh crap. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. It really is a human. Hijiri! I choke out Hijiri's name once I'm finally able to formulate words. What is that? Why is there a dead body in your cupboard? Oh, that? Hijiri looks down at the vivisected corpse, her lips curled at the corners. Now I know I'm not imagining things. This smile is the real deal. It's quite cute as far as smiles go, but I'm too shaken to properly appreciate it. Why does Hijiri look so unperturbed by all this?
That's Barney.
Who's Barney?
My anatomical dummy. I bought him on a whim a while back. I thought he might make for good reference material for some gorier scenes, but he's too big to fit in my room. I forgot I put him in here. Oh, right. I guess that makes sense.
I exhale, my breath ragged, one hand pressed to my chest. So, this isn't a corpse after all, and neither is it a vengeful ghost. It's only a dummy. Now I'm a bit calmer, I could tell that Barney isn't a real human. He's just a facsimile of one, and he's not all that convincing. His eyes are bulbous, and the placement of his nose looks a bit strange. His skin, when I reach out to him, is cold, hard, synthetic plastic. There's nothing lifelike about him at all. What a relief. I sigh while getting to my feet. I was seriously beginning to worry I had a murder case on my hands. Oh, you should have seen the expression on your face. You were so scared. It looked like you were going to wet yourself. It was so funny. Can you blame me? Anybody would be shocked to see that. You almost gave me a heart attack. That's the best part. I pout. I wish Judy wouldn't laugh at me like that, but it is kind of novel seeing her laugh at all. I wasn't sure she was capable of it. It's nice to be proven wrong. Okay then. Gee. I stuff Barney away back in his cupboard of shame once Judy leaves my room, then set about unpacking my clothes. I fold up my skirts and my dresses and my jackets and stash them away inside my chest of drawers. Honestly, I would wipe out those drawers first, like if the room is all like unused and moldy, maybe wipe everything down before I put my stuff in there, but okay. Then I haul out the futons, taking care this time not to disturb Barney, and lug them downstairs to the kitchen to wash them. I load the washing machine with the musty old futons and busy myself with some simple chores while they're spinning around. I clean the kitchen from top to bottom, wash some dishes that are festering in the sink, and sweep the floor. There's a lot of work to do. The whole kitchen is covered in a fine film of grime, but it looks significantly tidier by the time I'm done. I take the damp futons out the washing machine once the cycle's finished and hang them outside to dry on the line. By this point it's almost 7. The sun is still up, but it won't be for much longer. The sky is already starting to darken, and the sun has begun to inch its way towards the horizon. The futon has about half an hour to dry, if that. I'm doubtful it will be done in time, but this is the best I can do on such short notice. I'll probably have to sleep on damp covers tonight. Don't do that. Just get like a blanket and sleep on the couch, if there is one. It's not an attractive proposition, but it'll have to make do. Damp covers are still preferable to the dirty tatami floor, but neither's a great option. I'll have to give my room a thorough wipe down tomorrow. I'm worried some of the flooring's so damaged it'll have to be removed outright, then refitted. That sounds like a whole lot of effort, and it'll probably be expensive unless I try to do it myself. I've cleaned tatami mats before, but I've never ripped it up. There's a discomfortingly large probability that I'll screw the process up somehow and make matters worse. I could always call in a pro to handle it for me, I guess, but wouldn't that defeat the point of me being here? I'm supposed to be Yuji's housekeeper, regardless of whether she accepts me or not. I've got to take responsibility for the running of her home. Well, being a housekeeper doesn't mean you have to do everything yourself. If you just arrange for someone to come, that's also a help, right? As someone who doesn't like making phone calls and stuff, yeah, that would be a help. Besides, I can't imagine a recluse like Hijiri being thrilled at the prospect of letting strangers into her home so they can tear up the floor. I could try asking her, but I already know what the response would be.
No way, not over my dead body.
It's no good. That's a total dead end. I'm not sure about that, to be honest, because she already said she also doesn't like the house. So it didn't sound like she would mind having that changed, yeah? Oh well. I'll have to watch some tutorials online and figure it out myself. How hard can refitting tatami mats be? At least I'm confident in my cooking skills, if nothing else. I whip up a quick dinner with whatever food items I can scrounge in Hijiri's kitchen. She doesn't have much to hand, but I'm able to find a few eggs at the back of her fridge that are only a few days past their sell-by date, a couple of tomatoes and a large bag of white rice. I wash the rice, drain it, and stick it into the rice cooker. I fiddle with the cooker for a few moments, trying to turn it on to little avail, until I realize it's not even plugged in at the wall. This discovery is almost as baffling as Barney, shut away inside the futon cupboard. Why isn't Hijiri's rice cooker plugged in? Doesn't she use it? I mean, I think that is the case, but some people also unplug all their devices while they're not running, for safety reasons or to save power, whatever. So, doesn't have to mean anything. What in the world does she live on if not rice? Her appearance is pretty distinctive, sure, but I thought Hijiri was supposed to be Japanese. I thought Sa was exaggerating, but it really does seem like Hijiri subsides on nothing more than instant noodles. Surely that can't be healthy. It's no wonder she's so skinny. She's wasting away. Hijiri mightn't appreciate it, but I really do need to get some food into her stat. I wash and cut the tomatoes as the rice fries and throw them into a pan. Hijiri doesn't seem to have any cooking oil, so I have to dampen the pan with water. I crack the eggs and toss them into the pan next, and season with some salt, which, miraculously, I was able to find in a cupboard. There's no pepper though, nor any herbs. Tonight's dinner will be on the plain side, but I can't help that. I'll have to go shopping tomorrow. That's another thing to add to the to-do list. I take the rice out of the cooker when it's finished and add to my fried tomatoes and eggs. I've prepared quite a lot of food, despite having so little in the way of ingredients. There should be more than enough for both Hijiri and I, which is a relief. It's not like there's any side dishes to pad this out. My mother would rather commit ritual suicide than bear the shame of serving nothing but a simple tomato and egg stir-fry for dinner, but what else can I do? Yeah, you can't, also it's fine. I don't cook at all, really. And when I do a stir-fry, I also use very few ingredients and just save it all with some soy sauce.
It'll be fine.
Hijiri doesn't have any vegetables to pickle or any meat to prepare. She doesn't even have any miso paste. I thought that was like a common household staple. Then again, I thought most people kept their rice cookers plugged in. Hijiri seems to defy everything I know about ordinary people. She really is an enigma wrapped in a mystery. I plate up the food, which is steaming, and take one of the plates upstairs. Then I knock on Hijiri's door and wait for a reply. I wait and wait and wait, and then... Yes. A sleepy voice responds through the sliding door.
What is it? I brought you dinner. It's pretty simple. There aren't any side dishes, but it should be filling enough. Do you want to eat with me? I tried to keep the hope from my voice. I don't know Hijiri all that well, but I know her well enough to predict what her reply will be. No, it's fine. I'll eat it in my room. Bring the food up for me. I'm way ahead of you. If I thought there was any chance Hijiri might grace me with her presence downstairs, I wouldn't have bothered carrying her food up to her. Can I come in? No, you can't. Leave the food outside. I'll fetch it. Won't you even let me see your face? Why would you want to? You saw it earlier. I assure you, it hasn't changed. I know, but it's been a couple of hours and, well, I don't know, it's kind of lonely. You'll get used to it. But... Stop bothering me. I'm busy. I told you not to knock on my door unless it's an emergency. I'll eat when I'm hungry. Now go. Shoot. Alright. I can tell there's no point arguing with Hijiri. Since she won't even show me her face, it doesn't feel like I'm actually talking with her, but the door. My earlier goodwill disintegrates like a damp tissue. The smiling Hijiri I saw earlier might as well have been a dream. Sighing, I retreat downstairs. I eat my food in the dining room, alone, then wash the dishes when I'm done. It's dark outside now, the sky sprinkled with stars. I head out into the garden to feel my futon. It's still damp as I expected, but it's not wringing wet. I should be able to sleep on it, though it'll be uncomfortable. Kind of like the rest of today, actually. I don't know why I expected anything else. All of a sudden, I feel exhausted. I take my futon from the line and head back inside. I lock the back door behind me and haul the futon upstairs, all the way to the end of the hallway. When I pass by Hijiri's door, I pause. The plate of tomato and egg stir-fry I left outside her door has gone. She must have grabbed it after all. I hope she ate it, and if she did eat it, I hope she liked it. I doubt she'd tell me that though, even if she did. She's not a complimentary kind of person. I could work my cute butt off on her behalf, and I bet she'd refuse to grace me with so much as a simple, well done. Hijiri seems to think my whole existence is a burden. Will she ever come to like me? Sighing, I let myself into my room and toss my futon down on the floor. The futons are wrinkled, but I don't bother adjusting it. I'm too tired. I change into my pajamas and sink into my futon. It's more comfortable than I thought, despite being damp. Or maybe it only feels comfortable because I'm so tired. I feel so out of it all of a sudden. I'd probably sleep on a bed of razors if left with no other options. What a day. I mumble to myself, eyes half-lidded, as I stare at the ceiling. I didn't think things would work out quite like this. Hijiri's a pretty interesting person. Can I really make her happy? I don't want her to hate me. The seconds slip by like sand through an hourglass, and soon my thoughts begin to drift. My eyelashes quiver to a close. Then I fall into a deep and dreamless slumber. I wake up early the next day to the chirping of the birds.
I don't exactly feel well rested, my damn futon might be to blame for that, but I don't feel as run down as I did the day prior. I pick out an outfit for the day, then head to the bathroom, my clothes looped over my arm. The hallway's pretty long, and it's lined with doors. I thought I knew where Hijiri's bathroom was after her brief tour yesterday, but my poor sense of direction betrays me. Initially, I let myself into one of the many guest bedrooms, which is just as sparsely furnished, if not more so, than my own. The tatami mats in here are stained too, as I expected, and an unpleasant odor permeates the air. I wrinkle my nose. I've got my work cut out for me. I slide the door of the guest bedroom shut, then try another. This door leads to yet another abandoned guest room, but the third time, as they say, is the charm. It's with a satisfied sigh I let myself into the bathroom. I was starting to worry I might never find it. Hijiri's home is something of a maze. There are so many rooms, it's enough to make my head spin. I'm not at all accustomed to all this space. Hijiri's house is so huge, I have to wonder how much it cost. She was probably able to get a good price for it, given the crappy location, but maybe she didn't buy it? She could have inherited it. Maybe this house belonged to her grandparents. It has that old-timey sort of vibe to it. There's something about the tatami flooring and the beige walls that makes me think of old folks. I'd like to ask Hijiri how she ended up here, but I doubt she'd answer. She's a woman of many mysteries. It's with thoughts such as these running through my head that I strip off, then step into the shower. I'd rather take a bath, but I don't think I have the time. I don't think I trust the tub much either. It looks grimy. When was the last time it was cleaned out? A month ago? A year ago? Mentally, I make a note to clean the bathtub. It's just another item to add to my ever-growing list. I exhale. There's no end of work to do. Can I really handle all of this? Did you not get this question before? Like, wondering if Mayo would be able to clean a big house? Like, that's what they discussed with Sai, right? Oh well. It's not like you're on a tight schedule to have everything done by the end of the day or something, so one step at a time. It's going to be fine. I'm starting to doubt myself. But no, I won't let myself give in. I'm my mother's daughter, and if anybody knows their way around a bucket and a mop, she does. I bet my mother could get this house spick and span in half a day, or less. I'm not as crazy efficient as my mother. She spends a lot of time looking up housewifely tips and tricks online, but she's taught me well. I'm not bad at cleaning, I just don't like doing it. What I like doing seems kind of irrelevant now, though. I agreed to become Hijiri's housekeeper, and that's what I'll do. I'm going to give it my all. I step out of the shower and towel myself dry, then throw on my clothes. My hair combed and my teeth brushed, I deposit my pajamas back into my bedroom and head downstairs to make a start on breakfast. That was the plan, at least, but I should have figured. The fridge is almost bare. I must have cleared it out of ingredients last night when I made that simple stir-fry. I used the last of the eggs and the tomatoes, and though there's a few veggies shunted to the back of the fridge, none of them look edible. That pack of chestnut mushrooms in particular seems pretty suspect. I take the mushrooms out of the fridge, then give them a hesitant sniff. Ugh. Forget simply looking suspect, they smell positively criminal. I'm not a fan of mushrooms anyway, but I wouldn't eat these even if I was paid a cool 1 million yen. Yeah, there's no way these are good. They're going straight into the trash. I tossed the long-expired mushrooms out, alongside a few potatoes that are sprouting feelers, a couple of mushy bell peppers, and a carton of expired milk. After my extensive clear-out, the fridge is left with not a whole lot. There's precisely 1 jar of apricot jam with a sticky lid, a slab of butter, some salted squid strips, and that's it. There are no essentials in here. There are no eggs, no meat, no veggies. It's a barren wasteland. I briefly consider making toast for breakfast with the jam and the butter, but a rifle through Hijiri's cupboards puts paid to that idea. Hijiri doesn't have any bread, though she does have a bag of rice crackers. I can't exactly spread apricot jam on those though. The flavor profiles don't match up. Really? Have you tried? There's not much in these cupboards at all, save some dried snacks and a bunch of instant noodles. This is so sad, it's almost heartbreaking. How does Hijiri live like this? This can't be healthy. I know she told me not to judge her, but... I shake my head. I guess breakfast is a no-go for now. I'll have to go grocery shopping before I do anything else. But I don't know where the nearest store is. Maybe Hijiri can tell me? I wonder if it's in walking distance. I close the door to the fridge with a decisive thud. I'm not delusional enough to hope the ingredients for a hearty breakfast will suddenly spawn into existence, then leave the kitchen. I doubt Hijiri will appreciate being bothered so early, but this is an emergency. We're dangerously short on rations, and I can't just let her starve. What sort of housekeeper would I be then? Did you really have to wake me up so early? Yes, I had to. This is an emergency. I stare at Hijiri from across the table, my arms folded. It's been about an hour since I knocked on Hijiri's door, imploring for her presence. She must have been asleep when I knocked. Not that that's a surprise, because it took her a while to respond. When she did, her voice was thick and sluggish, as though she'd only just been pulled from a dream. Yes, what is it? I told Hijiri about the chronic food shortage, but she didn't seem to understand the severity of it. I think she must be used to it. I don't see why that's a big deal. It can wait. Now leave me alone. I'm tired. Hijiri tried to shoo me away, but I was persistent. I refused to let Hijiri push me around. It mightn't matter to you, but it does to me. I can't cook for you, Hijiri, if I don't have anything to cook with. You need to wake up and show me where the nearest supermarket is. The map app on my phone isn't working properly and I'll get lost on my own. After a bit of toing and froing, I was finally able to convince Hijiri to leave the warmth of her bed behind. It took quite a bit of doing though. It was like pulling teeth. Eventually, however, Hijiri reassured me she'd come downstairs to the living room so we could discuss our plan of action. Alright, I'll hold you to that, but don't take too long. It's 8 already. Girl, what do you mean already? That is early. Ugh. My mother always serves breakfast around this time. Any later and it'll throw off the rest of the day's meal plans. Don't go back to bed, you hear? Sure, whatever. I won't. You promise? I promise. Hijiri reassured me after a long pause, but I think she must have been crossing her fingers when she said that. I tripped downstairs to the living room, and there I waited for her, all obedient-like. It would have been nice to sip a cup of green tea while waiting, but there were no tea leaves to be had. Okay, not even having tea, that's rough. During this time, there was nothing for me to do. Hijiri kept me waiting so long, I started to wonder whether she'd fallen into some kind of rift in the time-space continuum. Eventually, after half an hour, I felt obliged to head back upstairs and knock on Hijiri's door for a second time. What are you doing in there, Hijiri? Getting ready shouldn't take this long. For a fashion-conscious girl like Nina it might, but that's because she takes great care to pick out her outfits and apply her makeup. From what little I saw of Hijiri the day prior, she doesn't wear any makeup at all, and as for her clothes, she was wearing nothing more glamorous than a tracksuit. They take like 5 seconds to throw on. I know, based on my own experiences back in PE class. Okay, I hope that wasn't a jab also on tracksuits, because if you're just comfortable at home, they're totally fine, okay? I live in sweatpants, so no shame in that, and yeah, they don't take long to put on, of course. You haven't fallen asleep again, have you? You promised you wouldn't. You'll have to eat 1,000 needles for that. It's fine. A groggy-voiced Hijiri replied after a long pause. We didn't say the whole mantra, and we never linked fingers. I don't even have 1,000 needles on my house anyway. That's a good point. I guess most people don't. Hijiri showed me a way again, back to the living room. I resumed my position at the table, waiting and waiting and waiting, until she finally saw fit to make an appearance in all her glory. Well, I say glory, but Hijiri looks just like she did yesterday. She's wearing the same crumpled tracksuit again, and her brown hair has been tied back into 2 messy buns. Hijiri's under eyes look dark, most likely from a lack of sleep, and though her skin is darker than mine, I wouldn't describe it as healthy. She doesn't look pallid exactly, and she's definitely not pasty, but there's an unhealthy kind of tinge to Hijiri's face that suggests she hasn't been getting enough sunlight. If she was a flower, she'd be drooping, her anemic leaves half chomped by caterpillars. Right now, Hijiri's sitting off to one side. In a corner of the living room, the sunlight can't quite penetrate. Her head is bowed, her expression sulky. I can't help but wonder whether she's some kind of vampire. I'm almost tempted to believe that, based on how barren her fridge and kitchen cupboards are. If she's a vampire, it stands to reason she wouldn't need to eat food like us boring, ordinary humans. All those instant noodles and rice crackers would suggest otherwise, though. You'd think somebody had died based on the way you're carrying on. Hijiri sighs. So, what's the problem? I already told you what the problem is at length when I was knocking on your bedroom door. We're all out of food. Ah, yes, that rings a bell. I remember you saying that, though I was half asleep at the time. I really don't appreciate being bothered so early in the morning, you know? It was only 8 when I woke you. Yes, so, like I said, it was early. Horribly so. Most working adults wake up at 7, you know. Most working adults are masochists. Masochists? Jeez. I guess I kind of agree with you there. I'm kind of lazy myself and I love lying in,
There's something alluring about a nice warm bed. I think my bed must be my number 2 waifu, right after Princess Luluna, of course. I've never liked waking up at 7, but 8 doesn't seem too unreasonable. You were waking her up at 8 though. You got up earlier to shower and everything? Okay. No matter. I mean, I try to get up early every day, even on the weekends. Doesn't mean it always happens. But yeah, claiming to wake someone up at 8 is not early. Come on. What time do you usually get up anyway? I don't know. I don't have a set time. Whenever I feel like it, I guess. But if you had to estimate, around midday, I guess? Midday? Hijiri shrugs carelessly. It can be earlier or later than that though. Sometimes I sleep all day and wake up at night. Wow, I was only kidding earlier, but now I'm really starting to suspect that something's afoot. Come on, if you're self-employed and don't have a regular schedule, whatever, it's not necessarily healthy, but eh. Hijiri's not actually a vampire, is she? My mother doesn't let me hear the end of it if I wake up at 9, let alone the middle of the day. She'd scold me for wasting my time. Then it's a good thing our mother isn't here. She sounds annoying. She can be, yeah, but I'd have to side with her on this one. It can't be healthy, you know, keeping such strange hours. It's no wonder you're so tired all the time. Hijiri scowls, her skinny arms folded across her equally skinny chest. I don't believe I asked you for your input. But I'm worried about you. I don't know how you can get any work done at all if you don't have some kind of schedule. I get my work done just fine, no matter what Sai thinks. I might have missed 1 or 2, or maybe 3 or 4 or 5 deadlines. Aha, so she admits it. But things always get done in the end. At a detriment to your health. Who cares about that? Sai might, but nobody else at Horizon does. I'm nothing but a means to make money. Elforest has more value than I do. I might be its creator, but I can always be replaced. I'm expendable. No, that's not true. I'm so incensed I find myself slamming my palms against the table for emphasis. I remember Saya doing the same thing yesterday whilst in the middle of lecturing Hijiri. I guess there's something about Hijiri's deadpan demeanor which invites fiery retorts like this. I almost feel obliged to compensate for her apparent lack of emotions. But maybe I'm overcompensating? Who can say? I love Elforest because you're the one writing it, Hijiri. It wouldn't be the same without your vision to guide it. I've read a few other light novels, but they all feel shallow compared to Elforest. Nobody else would do a better job at writing Luluna. She's like my most beloved waifu. If you get hurt or, I don't know, die, her story arc will never get finished. Not the way it should be. That's why you have to look after yourself. Your fans all love you. Silence descends after this little outburst of mine. I sit back on my haunches, my face flushed. Adrenaline is coursing through my body and my hands are shaking. I always get like this when I talk about Elforest. No other piece of media gets me this worked up. I've explained my feelings about it to Nina countless times, but she doesn't get it. She says my obsession with Elforest is weird.
hope that Hijiri at least understands where I'm coming from. Surely she should, even if nobody else does. Hijiri's the one who wrote Elforest. Without her, Princess Luna wouldn't exist, or Itsuki, or Astra, or Luz, and Cornelia and Vita, and all the other characters I love so much. The silence continues, uninterrupted, save for my own ragged breathing. Hijiri looks at me askance, her lips pursed. Her face isn't quite expressionless, but I can't get a good read on it. What's going through her head? Hijiri sighs. Then she says,
I'm glad you feel so strongly about Elforest, but could you maybe dial it down a notch? It's too early for all this. My head hurts.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I smile, abashed, and press my index fingers together. I didn't mean to be so, bombastic. It just kind of happens whenever I talk about Elforest. I love Elforest a lot. I want to see how it ends really badly, but only if that ending's written by you. It wouldn't be the same if somebody else took over. That's why I want to look out for you. You need to sleep well and eat well if you're going to write well.
I've been living like this for the last 3 years, and it's not had a particularly detrimental effect on my performance. I'll be fine, with or without you. I'm not a child.
I know that, I just...
Want to poke your nose into my affairs and give me advice I didn't ask for?
Hijiri's jaw tightens.
I thought I warned you about that. When I choose to wake up is my own business. It doesn't concern you.
That's why you're wrong. I'm really concerned, both as your housekeeper and your #1 fan. Don't fight with me on this, Hijiri. If anybody has the right to be worried about you, it's me.
You can believe whatever you want, but I have no obligation to humor you. You can worry about me if it'll make you happy, but don't force your concerns onto my shoulders. I'm not interested in them.
But, Hijiri...
But nothing. This conversation is over.
Hijiri looks away crossly, her eyes narrowed. My concern must have gotten through to her, but not in the way that I'd like. She doesn't look remotely pleased about it. It's clear, just to glance at her, that she's pissed. This isn't how I wanted this talk to go. I wish I didn't keep annoying Hijiri. I'm trying to look out for her. Really, I am. But she's not making things easy for me. She's so covered in prickles. She reminds me of a hedgehog. Why is she trying so desperately to keep a distance from me? She isn't afraid of me, is she? I'm tempted to ask, but I know that would only inflame Ichidi's ire further. For the time being, I think I'd best let the subject drop. Alright, I won't nag you about your sleeping patterns, but you should really eat more. I'll be in charge of making all the meals, breakfast, lunch and dinner. I'll take care of everything, so you don't need to worry. We can eat together if you'd like. Hijiri snorts as if to say, why would I want to eat with you? This stinks, but it's about what I expected. But I can always bring your meals up to your room if you'd prefer it. I'll knock on your door, then leave them there. Just put the dirty dishes outside when you're done so I can wash them up. Does that sound alright?
Alright.
Hijiri relents with a small nod of her head.
We can do that. I won't promise to eat everything you make, not if I don't like it, but I'll give it a go. had some doubts about your culinary skills, but...
Hijiri toys with the cuffs of a tracksuit. Her head bowed. Am I seeing things, or is that a faint blush I can see staining her cheeks?
That stir fry you made yesterday wasn't that bad.
Really? My heart swells with hope. Finally, we're getting somewhere. Did you like it?
Well, I don't know if I would go that far. It was edible, at the very least, which I suppose isn't too surprising. It was a very simple meal. I wouldn't mind trying more of your dishes, though. At the very least, I don't think they'll give me food poisoning.
You don't think that, but you're not sure.
Anything could happen. I still don't trust you yet.
Right. I smile awkwardly. That's not exactly high praise, but I suppose I'll take it. I need to celebrate these small victories with Hijiri while I can. I suspect meager concessions are all I'll be getting in the imminent future until Hijiri learns to trust me, which might take months. Will I still be here in a few months, or will Hijiri have tired of me? I wouldn't be at all surprised if she sent me packing back to Kawasaki. It'd be pretty sad if that came to pass. But no, I can't let myself dwell on such unfortunate possibilities. Hijiri won't send me away, not if I work my hardest. I'll make myself indispensable to her until she has no choice but to accept me and to love me. My plan really is foolproof. Oh ho ho ho. Wait, we need the proper. Oh ho 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 ho. Yeah.
I don't know what you're thinking, but it's probably something stupid. Knock it off.
How could you tell?
You had this weird smile on your face. It was giving me the creeps.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I've got to be careful around Hijiri. For such an expressionless girl, she sure is good at reading other people's emotions. So, I'll handle the cooking like I said, but I can't cook without any ingredients. The kitchen's barren.
Aren't there any instant noodles left?
Well, yes, but...
And rice crackers?
There's a whole box of them, but...
Then the kitchen isn't barren. You're exaggerating.
I think you're being a bit pedantic.
I'm a writer. What do you expect? I work with words for a living. I can't help but be pedantic about them, much like you can't help being an interfering busybody.
Alright, I'll give you that. I sigh. Forest is such a fun series. I never imagined its author would be so joyless. Then again, I also thought up until very recently, Forest was written by a man. You can't live on instant noodles and rice crackers alone though, no matter what you might think. I want to get some proper food into you.
Noodles and rice crackers are proper food. I can put them in my mouth and they give me nutrients.
Not nearly enough. You need some veggies in your diet too, and meat and rice.
Ugh.
Hijiri pulls a face.
That sounds like a lot of food.
It's a wholly appropriate amount of food that's necessary if you want to grow up healthy.
I'm 28 years old, in case you hadn't realized. I've done all my growing already. I'm not going to get any taller than this, no matter how many florets of broccoli you stuff into my mouth. I'm stuck being a shorty.
Maybe, I want to retort, if you ate more healthily, you wouldn't be so tiny. The words are on the tip of my tongue, but I swallow them back. I can't imagine they'd accomplish much other than provoking Hijiri's temper. I wonder if she has a complex about her looks, like Astra does about her flat chest. You might be short, but food can replenish your stamina. Now, can you tell me where the nearest supermarket is? We need provisions. A whole lot of them. There is a convenience store near the train station, but it's about 15 minutes away, and it's pretty small. They don't have much of a selection. So there is a convenience store out here. I was wondering about that. I guess I must have missed it.
If you want to buy a lot of food, you'll need to go to the next town over. There's a big family mart there, which sells almost everything. That's where Sarah goes when she buys me groceries.
Don't you ever buy groceries yourself?
That's too much effort.
Yeah, I figured as much. Ask a stupid question. I guess I'll head on over to the family mart then. How far away is it?
By car, about 20 minutes. By bus? Good luck.
Hijiri smiles thinly.
Public transport around here is atrocious. There's only a couple of bus routes through this village, and they always get delayed. They stop off at every little village along the way to the next town too, so getting there can take over an hour. The roads are bumpy and the seats are uncomfortable. It's not a pleasant experience.
I could have figured that out myself without subjecting myself to what little this village has in the way of public transportation. This village is so small, I'm surprised any buses come by here at all. Then again, I suppose it does have that train station. Could the population be higher than I thought?
If you want to go shopping, you really should take the car. It's parked out front. I hope you can drive, because I'm not going to.
Don't you feel like it?
It's a pain.
I wonder why you have a car at all, if you never use it. I shake my head. Fortunately for the two of us, I can drive.
You can?
I got my license a couple of years back. I've never really needed to use it. Public transport over in Kawasaki is pretty good, but I figured it might come in handy. Why'd you ask anyway? Are you surprised? To be honest, I am. But that's just me being me, because I don't have a license.
Somewhat. I didn't think you would have the coordination required to handle a vehicle.
I worried about that myself too. I failed like my tests, 6 times until I finally passed. That was a huge weight off my shoulders. I've not driven since then, so I'm probably pretty rusty, but it should work out fine. I would be worried for my car then. But then again, if it's out in the countryside, at least she won't encounter that much traffic, right?
You're not filling me with much confidence here.
Hijiri pulls a face.
Please don't total my car. I haven't had the chance to put you on my insurance yet.
That would be a disaster. I'm sure it'll be fine. I have faith in me.
You might, but I don't.
Goodness. I wonder where all this ill-founded confidence of yours comes from. I'm just trying to be optimistic. So, are you going to come with me? I'm not very familiar with this area, so I'll need somebody to give me directions.
Can't you use the sat-nav?
I don't know if I trust it. I don't want to be led around in circles, or
over the side of a cliff. There aren't any cliffs around here. You'd have to get spectacularly lost to fall down one. But you raise a good point. I'd rather go back to sleep, but... Yuri looks me up and down, her lips pursed. I don't know if I can. I'm awake, so I might as well accompany you. You need somebody to keep an eye on you. I think this is a classic case of the pot calling the kettle black, but I choose not to comment on it. Instead, I offer Yuri a wide smile. Thanks, Yuri. I'm sure we'll get there in no time with your advice. Hopefully. Just don't get into an accident, alright? I'll be super careful, don't you worry. For some reason, that isn't very reassuring. Yuri clicks her tongue. You owe me for this. Okay then. Oh, okay. So I'm curious how this is going to pan out, but I want to stop for today. I don't want these videos to get too long, but we did get some action there. I'm glad about it. So, yeah, it's still a rocky relationship, but we're going somewhere, of course. So, yeah, please tell me what you think of this first start of Mayo's employment. Leave me a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, bye bye!